guys, welcome back to Kiana's Soapbox. Today I've got another video for you. Today I'm going to be making some really inexpensive, cute, but simple, quick baby shower favors. So I'm going to tell you everything that you need right here in this video. You're going to need clear soap base, or what people like to call melt and pour soap. I'm going to be using the glycerin soap base, and I have about a pound of clear soap base, and I also have a very large supply of goat's milk soap base, but you'll also need a white or goat milk soap base to make these baby shower favors. So let's go ahead and get started. Here I have, of course, my handy dandy kitchen scale. I have a soap cutter, and I've got some molds over to the side, but before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and cut up my clear soap base. And I'm just going to put it right here in one of my soap pouring molds. And I'm not going to measure it actually right now. I'm just going to go ahead and cut it up, and then I'll put it on my scale. But of course, I like to zero out my scale always. I've wiped down this table, and now, for those who are not familiar with making melt and pour soap or glycerin soap with soap bases, you need to cut them up into smaller pieces and able to melt them down. So that's why I'm doing this. Now, these are just going to be little sample bars that I'm making today, so I'm not making a huge amount. This is going to be for 3 different inexpensive, simple little party favors. So I'm going to measure my cup here, then zero it out, and I'm going to start off by measuring 2, 4, 6 ounces of the soap base. Three, it's almost 4, and you'll see why I'm only doing 6 in just a minute. It's 5, that's 5.6. And there is my 6 ounces of clear soap base. Now what I'm going to do with this clear soap base is take it and melt it down in 15 to 20 second bursts until it's all melted. And you can use the microwave, or you can use the double boiler method. I prefer the microwave. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. I have melted down this 6 ounces of melt and pour soap or glycerin soap base, and I just used a little popsicle stick to stir it up. And I'm going to go ahead and get my molds that I'm going to be using, and I'm going to get my colorant, which is just going to be a mica. I'm going to get the objects that I'm going to use in my soap base. This is a little baby shower favor. Blue, it's a little blue baby bracelet that says baby. And I've got a little pink rattle. And I've got, last but not least, a little rubber ducky. So what you're going to do in the first soap is pour in approximately half. These are 4-ounce soap molds. So individually there's 4 ounces. So I'm only going to fill it halfway. So here I'm going to do approximately 2 ounces of soap base there. And then I'm going to do approximately 2 ounces of soap base here. And then last but not least, for the rubber ducky, I'm going to do about 2 ounces of soap base here. Now, I know exactly what I have left, so I'll fill here, and I'll fill here until I am out of soap base. But I just wanted to make sure that I could evenly pour in the others. Here you go. Now that that's poured, since I'm doing individuals and these are samples, I'm going to add the colorant to the individual molds. So as you can see here, I have a very light blue, a nice little baby boy blue mica. This is called Haze, and this is from Soap Dye. I got this from Amazon. I'm just going to take a small amount, and you want to use a very small amount for these soaps because you still want them to be translucent so that you can see through the soap. And I'm just going to stir it up here. Until it is nicely incorporated. And I'm going to add that also to for my rubber ducky. Now you want that to be totally blue, so you can dump a good bit in there. Stir it up really well. And that's that. And then I'm going to add pink to my other soap. I'm going to put my rattle. And really it's better to kind of add mica to like a little light oil base, like an almond oil, and mix it up and then add it to the soap. But for time purposes here, I added it straight to the mold, and it's a little difficult to stir up, but it'll be okay. Now I'm going to add my fragrance. So for these bars, I'm going to do 1 drop of lavender, or 2 drops of lavender and 1 drop of chamomile. And go back and stir it up yet again. And it's okay if you see that little soap film on the top. Just stir it up and it'll kind of mix down in there. And then stir up the lavender and chamomile here. And now I'm going to do my rubber ducky over here. It's nice and blue. And it actually looks more like water because of the mica, so you don't have to worry about getting the mica so well incorporated in this one, because it really looks like water. Now I'm going to get my little spray here, spray the tops of these soaps with alcohol just to get rid of any air bubbles. And for the rubber ducky soap, I'm going to use a fragrance oil. This is baby powder fragrance oil. You only need a small amount, and I'm going to stir that up. So my two soaps over here in the rectangle molds are going to be scented white lavender and chamomile. And then I have my baby powder scented soap here for the rubber ducky in the round mold. And now you just have to let those sit and dry for a few minutes, and then we'll be able to add the party favors. So we'll be right back. Now it's only been a few minutes for all of these to start setting. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the rubber duck to the round mold because the object of the matter is for the rubber duck to look as if it's sitting on top. So due to the buoyancy of the rubber duck, it should just sit right on top and it shouldn't sink to the bottom, and because of the size of the mold, I'm going to sit it very gently. Kind of just hold it there for a second. And then I'll show you what you do in just a second with the rubber duck to finish it off. So what I went and got here, I've got some little soap curls that came off another bar of actually cold processed soap that I made some time ago, and I'm going to use these for the bubbles around the little rubber ducky here. Okay, so what I went and got here, I've got some little soap curls that came off another bar of actually cold processed soap that I made some time ago, and I'm going to use these for the bubbles around the little rubber ducky here. Alright, so I'm back and I've given these a few minutes to settle, and I've also given that a few minutes to set. So now I'm going to actually cut up the rest of the clear soap base here and go and melt it down, and then I'll be able to add the favors to the soap and allow that to set for a while as well. Get my handy dandy. I always keep a stack of these to use for measuring purposes. Weighs absolutely nothing. And all I'm going to actually need here is about 2 ounces of the clear soap base. There we go. I'm going to put that right back in there. And I'm going to go and melt this down. I'll be right back. Alright, so I have taken the liberty of going ahead and allowing this to cool for just a little while because it has to cool before you pour it over the soap that has already settled some, or actually gotten hard, because the hot soap that you pour on could actually cause the soap that you've already poured to melt. So I've let it cool, and I've gone ahead and added my lavender and chamomile essential oils. And what I'm going to do now, my little party favors. Now, since the bottom of the soap is always going to be the cleanest looking of the soap, I'm going to turn the part that is going to be facing people, put it face down on the soap. And before you put it face down on the soap, spray it really liberally with alcohol. Put your favor on top. And try to center it. And do the same thing with your pink soap. Now with this one, I'm going to put it face up because the clear side of the soap is going to be on the front. You can do it how you like. There you go. And now you can just stir it just a little bit because there's a film that's kind of filmed on top of it, or formed on top. But it's perfectly alright. I'm going to pour just enough to cover the party favor. Just enough to cover. And there you have it. Now you'll just let these sit for another few minutes to harden. Okay, so last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and just cut up a few more ounces of soap, maybe like 2 or 3 ounces, just to go ahead and cover the rattle and cover the little baby bracelet. Now the reason for doing this in a third step, especially with the rattle, is because the rattle, I want it to be seen really, really well. And when you add fragrance oil, it will sometimes cause the soap that is clear to be a little less clear, a little more opaque or translucent. And because I want you to be able to see the rattle really, really well, I'm going to just melt down soap and I'm not going to scent it at all. And then I'll use it also to cover the back of the little baby bracelet. So I'm going to take my time and I'm going to go and heat this up, melt it down in the microwave, again in 15-second bursts until it's completely melted. Be careful not to over microwave your soap. If it starts to boil, sometimes it's a little more difficult or takes a longer time to set and get hard, or it may not harden at all. So I'm going to go and melt this down, allow it to cool a little bit before I pour the last layer. Okay, so I have melted down the last couple of ounces of soap and I allowed it to cool a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and pour the clear over the rattle the rest of the way, and just pour it really nice and close. There you go. So now what I did was I just used the popsicle stick to kind of push the rattle down in there to make sure it was completely covered. Which I believe it is. Yep, completely covered, and I'm going to spray it really nicely with the alcohol. Make sure there's no air bubbles on the top. And now I'm going to go and melt down just another couple of ounces to pour over the rattle. The baby bracelet. So I'm gonna cut up. This is probably about 1.5 ounces or 2 ounces. This probably won't even take 15 seconds. And I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. I have melted down the last few ounces of soap here, and I'm going to go ahead and color this to go over the baby bracelet. So I think I mentioned a little bit earlier how it's a little bit easier to color the soap when you're using dry micas or like a dry or a powdered colorant. And what I did here was I added that same mica color to a little bit of a light oil. You can use almond oil. That's a really good one to use. That's what I usually use, or apricot seed oil. Add a little mica to it and it colors the oil, and then you can add that to your melted soap base and it colors a lot smoother. You don't have to worry about the little dry powdered mica being in the soap, and it colored beautifully actually. Very, very nice. And I'm going to go ahead and add one more drop of lavender and one drop of chamomile. Stir that up. And while I'm stirring, of course, it's cooling. Allowing it to cool while you stir is always a good idea, so that it won't melt the already set soap beneath. And I'm going to go ahead and pour the last layer. I already spritzed it with alcohol, but it won't hurt to do another couple of sprays just to ensure you have nice clean lines. Make sure I get as much of the soap base out as I can, so you can have a nice full bar of soap. And now comes the waiting game. I'll be back in just a few minutes to unmold these beautiful baby shower creations. Alright guys, so we're back and it's time to unmold our baby shower favor creations. So I'm going to go ahead and start right now by unmolding this little 4-ounce rubber ducky soap that we made here in the little round muffin mold. All you have to do is just press on the bottom. If you'll remember, we scented it with baby powder scented fragrance oil. A couple of those soap curls might fall off, but I'll tell you a quick way to get them back on there if you want them, but it looks perfectly fine without it. Just take some clear melt and pour soap and melt it down, pour over the top, and then you can sprinkle them back on it. This is absolutely adorable and very inexpensive and cute, and actually it is a little different than most. Everybody does the same thing usually for baby shower favors, but this would be a wonderful addition to your baby shower. I think it's absolutely adorable for a rubber ducky themed baby shower. And now we're going to move on to, it smells really good. Move on to the 2 soaps that we did in the rectangle molds. Now these are more like 4.5 to 5-ounce molds, and we did one with the baby rattle in it, and then we did one with the little baby bracelet in it. So I'm going to go ahead and unmold first the blue by pressing on the bottom just like we did the other one. And I can smell it already. It smells absolutely wonderful. And there you have your baby shower soap. Got a little hair on the side. And it is just a tad bit difficult to see, but it's the fact that it is soap, and it's not something that people are going to just take and toss in the trash can. It smells really, really good, and you know somebody's going to get use out of it. So there is your baby shower baby bracelet soap. And then we're going to pop out from the bottom once again the pink little girl soap with the baby rattle inside, also scented in lavender and chamomile. And you can see the beautiful pink back, and then it's clear on the front, and you can see that baby rattle really, really well. This soap smells absolutely wonderful as well. So there you have it. I'd say this project took in total maybe about an hour, and that was because there's a lot of starting and stopping and allowing the product to set. But you have your chamomile and lavender scented baby soap here, and then you have a baby powder scented rubber ducky soap there. They're absolutely adorable. They smell great. You know that your guests will get use out of them instead of taking them and throwing them away. They're really inexpensive and they're really quick. So I hope you guys enjoyed these recipes or these DIY videos. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to see where Browns All Around is going to take you next. Thanks for watching Kiana's Soapbox. Bye.